Well, I decided to do a quick video, and I want you to listen to this. This is when my car starts up. So I'm going to start it. That's a strong starting sound, isn't it? But it's ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and I'll dial this in. Now, this car, I found out, has something called sport mode. But I thought, it just makes the engine run or whatever. I want it to save gas and everything like that. But when I'm working, I find in the city, sport mode works incredibly well. It may use gas, but the car is very easy on gas, even in sport mode. And it's like a totally different car. Drive in sport mode, the engine will run, and I don't know if it risks the battery, but it actually recharges the battery, it seems like. So it seems like the battery would be low, and then I'll be driving in sport mode for a while, and it's recharged again. And then when I drive on the freeway, I drive in eco mode. And let me just close my garage door. It's terrible. Sometimes it doesn't reach for that far, but so I love the sport mode now because it controls the speed of the car too. So when you're in like regular eco mode or smart mode, you're going and you might be going. It's too easy to go too fast, and your car just coasts at that faster speed. It won't just slow down when you step off the accelerator. And with sport mode, it does. And then the suspension's different. And the steering is tighter, so it feels like a sports car almost. It's amazing. This is a really good car. I can't believe how I didn't expect this much out of a Sanata. I still have my gripe about the navigation system, being poor as far as the maps accuracy. So that's my honest opinion on Hyundais. They need to get their act together on the maps. It's just ridiculous. So I have to use Android Auto. Why bother even having a navigation system in the car if it doesn't seem to get you to where you're going properly? Just use Google. Just use Google. Pay Google and put that in Hyundais, and then the people will be more happy about it. I guarantee you, it'll pay for itself if they have to pay Google. I'm serious. I think that's all car manufacturers. Google is the king of maps, and there's Waze, which is also Google, by the way. It just gives you a more aggressive route, or maybe not more aggressive, but it takes the shortcuts and it takes advantage of stuff like that in Waze. So if you're that type of driver and you know the area pretty well, Waze is great. But I always say the Waze lady, when I listen to Waze navigation, she sounds pushy. So if you're in a hurry and you know the area real well, you use Waze. But if you otherwise, just use Google Maps. I don't know. I've never used Apple Maps, but the only thing I trust is Google Maps, and that just that solidified it. So if a company wants to not offer Android Auto or fails to offer a map based on Google Maps, I will not buy their car. I'm glad they have Android Auto options, so that makes it perfect for me. I can use my Android Auto in my car. If I was an Apple user, I'd still use Google Maps, and it's an amazing map program. And they have a new feature on it. It's going to be 3D. I haven't tried that yet. I don't know if it's available here, but they have a 3D map of the area so you can see how the roads go. Actually, no, I think it's on that right now because it looks three-dimensional to me on that screen. So I can see the actual lay of the land. It's not quite like they showed it on the TV, but it's that is a good satellite. Maybe just satellite view. So this is a more interactive 3D map that's supposed to be more simplified when you're going places to make you better understand the roads and the layers of road and everything like that. So that's pretty good. We don't really have that here. It's all basically on the surface. All we have is hills. We have lots of hills. We have lots of flat area too. It's a really nice area. It's like its own valley. So when you go to Vegas and you're coming north, you're going to pass through some mountains, and then you go to the next valley over, basically. And it's completely different as far as the terrain as the area in Las Vegas. So I'm just headed towards I don't have the DoorDash app operating right now, but I'm headed towards a good delivery area, and usually it tells me to go this way anyway, so I'm just headed that way. I wanted to do the video. It is. Yeah, so Google's gotten even better now. So I don't know why people car companies want to resist Google or whatever and not have Google anything in their car, or they don't have AirPlay, or they want to use their own map program and charge you a subscription. Some companies, I would say like F you to that. I will never buy that car ever. I don't care if it's new, used, anything. It's fucking worthless to me because I want to use my Google Maps. I trust it. It's always accurate most of the time. I'd say 99% of the time it's accurate. And they keep current on it. It's really good. It works just awesome. And now they've powered it with AI. So that's going to be even better for the future now. It's going to optimize your routes even better. And no small company on their own, like GM or Ford or whatever, they can't go ahead to the scale of Google Maps and map everything perfectly, keep it accurate, and do all the satellite views and the street views and everything else you need to find your way. Google Maps is the only way that I will ever use a map program, and whether that be through the phone or through Android Auto, that's it. Google Maps is it, man. Some companies just have it nailed down on a total, absolute dominance, and that's definitely Google's specialty. And they should be. I would pay a subscription fee for Google Google Maps if they said there had to be a subscription fee. It'd be like, well, yeah, I'll pay it. Of course, I'll pay that. But I don't. So Google is actually offering one of the greatest gifts to mankind, in my opinion, and that's really good navigation anywhere you go, anywhere in the world. They give that free of charge. So I'm really not mad at Google for collecting ad data, and I don't try to avoid them because they're giving a gift to the world, and that's GPS navigation. No more than just GPS navigation, because they didn't put up the satellites, but they perfected the mapping of the terrain. They went through the whole process of street viewing everything in the U.S. and everything around the world, and they're just it's a work in progress, of course, because there's so much of the world around us. So I'll just hang my Wayback Burger. I haven't even started yet, but that is I'm now basically by the Smiths near my house, so it didn't take me that long driving. If I had to walk it though, that would be impossible, and especially in the daytime in Las Vegas, I would be dead halfway. I guarantee it. I'd be dead on the road halfway if I managed to try to walk it to Smith's. I swear. I can walk it over to the Sprouts at least, so that's cool. There is a supermarket within walking distance of my house, and that's Sprouts. And Sprouts is a nice supermarket. I like their fact that they have organic produce and they have decent prices on it. Sometimes better than I think it's better than Smith's on organic prices. So you get decent prices, and then if it's a non-organic option, it's always a decent deal, everything like that. It's pretty good quality, everything like that. My only criticism is that sometimes I'll get like tomatoes. Maybe they're not turning the stock as fast as some other supermarkets are. So I would like to see Sprouts to succeed because they're a great company. I think that. Offering organic at a regular affordable price is great because I don't want to be eating chemicals and Roundup and all this. We were like a chemical experiment. So it's I don't understand that. It's like they want to they have to go ahead and prove something's dangerous before they ban it. But they will do that, and we're the guinea pigs. That's the thing. And we don't know what that's happening. Why are we getting more colon cancer? Why are we getting more, all these different things? You know what I'm saying? I know I smoke, so I'm at risk for cancer more than anybody else as a smoker. So I know that. But, these are untested chemicals they put in food to make them certain ways, they have for bread. It's all banned in Europe. They have to prove it's safe in Europe in order before they use it in the food supply. Yes, you know what? The one thing I have to know is that the Fruit Loops taste like shit. And the everything there's different things that don't taste like the American version, and they don't taste good. I swear I've tried them. And then they color them with natural colors, so it doesn't have the bright neon colors. Well, those neon colors cause ADHD in children. They're derived from petroleum sources. They don't know the actual total effect on the body. Those wonderful glowing neon colors the kids love, which I don't want to be a joy kill of anything, but they love those things. And then we wonder why we have ADHD and all these different mental health issues. It is not vaccines. It's the chemicals they're putting in our food. And they have unknown effects. One thing and make the plastics, stronger, like BPA. It's wonderful. It's a great, useful material. It's wonderful. Except for it gives you cancer, and it's an endocrine disruptor. And they put that in everything, and also they still put PFAS in everything, like if you have Glide floss for your teeth, it's made with PFAS. They put it in the shampoo. When they say fragrance on shampoo, the fragrance is a code word for anything we don't want to disclose. That's what fragrance is. So I always wondered why everything, even one time I got some non-scented lotion and it was like fragrance, it said fragrance on it. I'm like, fragrance? Why is there a fragrance in my unscented shampoo? It said a counter fragrance or something like that. It smelled like shit. Okay, basically. But, who knows? I'm serious, because back in the 80s and 90s, the lotion and shit like that would burn your skin, at least mine. And because, it was just like, they would put all these concoctions together, and slowly they had to filter out some of the really bad ones because they make it really cheap. That's why you should buy quality cosmetics, and shampoo is considered cosmetic. They can basically put whatever they want, and there's your PFAS going into your scalp. That's forever chemicals, then collecting in your, brain and in your heart and everything else in your body, because it just like builds up, blocking cellular, activity and causing cancer, an endocrine disruptor. And we are exposed to it day and night, no matter what they say. And if it's not PFAS, they go and say it's POF something else, and it's like the same exact chemical, just slightly modified. And now it's perfectly legal again. That's how it works. And it's very sad to see how the chemical and petroleum industry has taken advantage of us so badly when it comes to our food supply. Because, everything has to be, they need to test stuff and make sure it's safe and be responsible for when they're liable for when they build defective products. And anything that gives you cancer or does something like that is a defective product. The number one defective product is cigarettes. Because when used as directed, it kills the user. So that is a good, analogy there. Defective product. They got sued. People and all the lawyers got money and people got nothing. That's basically it. And now we pay $20 a pack. It's like, geez, you can't win. You can't win in this society. I swear, you just can't win. You think you can win, but it's like something's going to bring you down. And if you think you're living your best life, and then the next thing you know, you get a diagnosis, terminal. It's a pretty scary situation. You tried everything right, and now you're criminal. What causes cancer? And why is it so many people are being affected by this cancer? It's because we're a chemical lab experiment for the petrochemical industry. They want to see all the things we can take before we die. They would never want to extend life because, God forbid, they should have to pay any benefits to anybody who ever lives. So this is the whole philosophy of the other party. And I'm starting a channel. It's called The Beardless Leftist. And I haven't done any videos for it because I don't think I'm quite talented enough. Or, maybe that's holding me back. Or I'm just like a little shy. Or it feels awkward. Or, different things like that. So I want to go ahead and build my channel. And how I feel is that we've been treated by the corporations of America is very poorly. And when somebody creates defective products that injure people, like asbestos, and then they knowingly do it, I believe corporations should have to pay $1 million a person they kill. That would probably, even though you can't put a price of human life, but I would put $1 million on it to say that corporations are liable for the injuries they cause, and that means that cuts out the lawyer entirely, in my opinion. They know that this causes, but the lawyer has to prove the case, right? So the lawyer gets all the money, and then that's the end of the story, right? That's always the end of the story. That's what's sad about it. We get $20, they get, billions. But to make it $1 million a person, every person, that means at least the family gets something out of that $1 million, right? Maybe they had to hire the lawyer, and the lawyer gets a third or 40% or whatever, but at least they got 60% of it, and then the company got punished enough that they won't do it again. And if they won't play the law, arrest the CEO and put them in jail. Because you're violating, you're violating the law. You knowingly did it as a company. You're the person, you're a head honcho, you're responsible, and it's $1 million person. It's on your back as well. We want to make sure that our products are safe in the United States. That we don't have to be victims and we can live long, healthy, and wonderful lives without cancer, without dying prematurely.